フルカウンター。
Alright boys, welcome back to the Grand Cross video. So before you start jumping to like the whole like other collab stuff and seeing things, let me just say a few things to start the video. One is to thank you all for like the support on the channel, because the last 2 months have been unreal and I've been grinding so hard, where you know, this month I kind of took a little bit of a break. I still uploaded daily, but like didn't put too much effort into videos. I didn't upload too many a day, and that's because, well, I was in the final part of this video and I spent a lot of time making a trailer, putting little things together and finalizing this project basically. So yeah, without the support on you lot, then I wouldn't be able to do this, because, well, I do know the video is quite popular, like this video series. So, you know, not uploading 2 a day and uploading 1, it's going to average out with this video. So appreciate the support, boys. So last time we hit 2k likes on the actual High School DxD one, so we're going to push it a little bit. Can we hit 3k? Just we put so much more work in this one, so it kind of deserves it. And yeah, the next thing is to thank Amazing and also Not Easy for hooking me up with the actual assets from the actual Whitecap project collab with they did with Jujutsu Kaisen. So yeah, you'll see like the actual almost official artwork almost. It's it could almost actually be in the game from the looks of it. And as well, I gotta thank Darrow, which actually hooked up with the Osborne Hawk later on, you'll see during the trailer, because yes, it is a trailer. And as well, the main person, which is Oreo, which hooked up with the actual stamps, the actual custom animation you see later on with the actual Osborne Hawk stuff. You see it later as well. He put so much work into this collab, more than me actually, and really brought it to life. Like you've seen with the past two, where we've made actual, like, you know, just the card arts and I edit the stuff to show you how it would look, but this man really brought it to life. So if there's one thing to take away from this collab or this video, is to thank him. You know, at him on Twitter, give him a follow, leave in the comments saying thank you, Oreo, show your support towards him, because I know a lot of like, he stayed up a lot of like nights working in his face. Same for myself, really. Both of us put like a tremendous amount of support on this video and work to get it out there to make it look as real as possible. Which is why, once again, it's not real. Although we're not trying to sell it as real. It's fake, but I just gotta say that. So yeah, it's very weird for me right now to sit here and say this, but yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, man. It's a mad one. So yeah, let's just jump in. Alright lads, so the first thing I'm going to show you lot is kind of a rundown of what we're going to show you for like the next, like, I guess 20 to 30 minutes, because typically that's how they last. But yeah, I do know these videos do last a very, very long time, so what I've done here to hype it up a little bit is I made a trailer. So the trailer will show mostly everything, not everything, so you may want to stay tuned for later on, but to kind of gas up a bit, we're going to show you a trailer. So hope you do enjoy it, because this one took about 2 to 3 weeks to edit, and yeah, a lot of work went into this one. So big shout out for Darrow, you should see at the start of the Osborne Hawk as well. You just, yeah, you'll see it, man. It's I'm about to present the best thing I've probably made with the help of other people. So yeah, let's watch the Jujutsu Kaisen Grand Cross trailer.
うたた寝している間にこんな事態になっていようと。
そうだ
雷の化け1だ。
Alright, there we go. So hopefully you did enjoy that. You basically just watched, what, 3 to 4 months of work in 2 minutes. And if you watched the end part, you would have seen the Demon Slayer teaser. So yes, I will be working on Demon Slayer unless they do beat me to it. But yeah, I will be doing Rengoku with the 4 characters. So you have Inosuke, Tanjiro, Nezuko, and obviously Zenitsu with, I guess, the 5th character being the Rengoku, because I love the movie so much I want to do a card based on him, right? Now, obviously, I'm not going to spoil the movie or the characters and stuff that happens in the movie, but Rengoku obviously is only in the movie, so most of his kit will be based on, you know, what happens in the movie, I guess. So it may not be a spoiler, but the video ain't going to come out for maybe like another 2 to 3 to 4 months, so it should be spoiler free at that point, because most of you would have seen it. But I will leave his stuff towards the end of the video when I do that, so if someone hasn't watched the movie, they can just skip it. But yeah, I guess we just dive in now, I guess, to the whole part of the main video, really, to kind of go into a little more detail of what you would have just seen, but a little bit more detail with the actual, I guess, long explanation of stuff. So yeah, if you want to leave now, you can, but let's just dive into the main part of the video, really. Okay, so I should have said at the start, and maybe I'll put a little disclaimer, but there is no spoilers for this. It only spoils season 1, because that's the only thing we cover here. There's no manga spoilers, there's nothing to do with the manga, literally all based on season 1. So if you finished, you know, season 1, you're free to watch this without getting spoiled, but let's just dive in. So the first bit is the wallpaper, right? So this is not the worst. I actually kind of like it. So obviously what I wanted to do was have Mahito in the background, and yeah, couldn't find a single good picture of him, so we had to opt to using the tree girl. Is it a girl? I think it's a tree, so it has no gender, but the voice actor's a girl, so I'm gonna say she. So yeah, she is in the background. She's like the main villain, but not really, because we do have obviously the main expansion in the background, which is Mahito's, and there's kind of a little tease him a little bit to show that he is there. But yeah, overall pretty good wallpaper. Can't really say too much about it, just apart from it does look good. And I hope we do actually get a real Jujutsu Kaisen collab. They made the wallpaper good, because we saw the ReZero one, they put no effort into it. So yeah, let's jump into the next part. Okay, so on screen now you can see all 5 characters. So we have Itadori, Gojo, Nobara, Megumi, or Fugaroshi Megumi, whatever I would say his name, and also Nanami. So we're gonna go in order, and start off with Itadori. So this character is my most ambitious one, almost, really, because he does transform, but unlike the last 2 videos where I've done a transform character, it was getting very stale, so I want to do something a little bit different and something that actually makes sense towards the story. So all these characters that I kind of designed here are meant to be a little bit OP. I mean, I'm not gonna make a video where they're bad, right? But you'll see how a lot of stuff kind of correlate to what they do in the actual show. So yeah, a lot of it makes sense. So let's start off with Itadori, right? Okay, so Itadori Yuji Sukuna's vessel is a human, is a green attribute, and yeah, so I designed his character based on how he works in the actual, I guess, the first season, which you get the idea straight away. So let's start with the passive, the unique here. So when HP reaches 0, fully heal and transform. So I've done a transform character every single collab video, and they are getting a bit stale. So this one, I do like the idea of it. So very similar to how it happened in the series, where he's about to die, but then Sukuna takes over last second, fully heals him up by accident, but then also dies afterwards, because he takes his heart out, so he can't transform. But then Yuji or Itadori transforms later on. So that's kind of the whole gimmick here, and you'll see the card later on, because it's very important. But let's go into the first skill, which is Divergent Fist, which it's made for the game, really. So the whole gimmick of Divergent Fist is when he punches, he gets like a little delay, like a little lag, where the curse energy comes in afterwards. And yeah, I can't think of a better actual card than having death damage. So death damage at the moment is only on Eskinol's actual ultimate, but it literally just, it makes so much sense here. So he does 4% attack onto one enemy, then inflicts additional 70% death damage at tier 3. I haven't really thought about the tier 2 and tier 1 card, but you can imagine it's like 50, like maybe like 40 to 50%. But yeah, they want to do 100%, because then that'll be straight away 800% attack, which is like the highest damaging skill, like base damage skill in the game, without no drawbacks. But yeah, this is gonna be very good to take out, like, just do some damage, take away the shield, do you know, just I guess get rid of a little bit of revive to get the whole point of death damage. But yeah, this is going to work very well with his second skill, which is Black Flash. So kind of funny because I do believe he only does 3 Black Flashes in the actual show, and you can only use 3 cards, so it kind of makes a little bit of sense here. But yeah, what he does is he inflicts damage equal to 5% of attack onto one enemy, but also increases attack related stats by 5%. So I do believe this is quite accurate in the lore terms, because when he uses Black Flash, he does get a little power up. So increased attack related stats makes a lot of sense here. And yeah, it is only 2 turns, so it activates the turn he does it and also the next turn. So he does get a little power boost. So I do believe you can get up to what, 30% attack related stats if you somehow pull Black Flash 3 times each turn. And yeah, it's going to work very well with his ultimate as well, which is actually going to inflict 7 damage onto one enemy, which is Malevolent Shrine. And yeah, this is I want to make what's it, Sukuna be a part of the kit somehow if you somehow don't get him to transform later on, because there's no way for him to transform apart from dying, so it's not really your fault. But Sukuna will come out here and do his little Malevolent Shrine, as he does do in one of the episodes, and just absolutely annihilate one person. So I did do Sever because I do think that's probably one of the strongest hitting cards, and with the attack related stats, it's going to do a lot of damage. Okay, so moving on to his transform state, right? So now he's Sukuna. He's actually playable in-game, right? Now, it's going to be a little bit weird to explain this because I know it's very, very strange, but hear me out here. So he's only got 1 card. Now, you're probably thinking, what the hell, why? Well, it's because, well, he's only alive for 1 turn, which means that 1 turn where he's Sukuna, before Itadori does transform back and kills himself, basically, he's got to do a lot of damage. So I thought of an OP card that we'll see how it works out. I mean, we're not like we're going to see it in-game, but let me know if you think it's actually OP. So what it does is it inflicts damage equal to 40% of HP diminished from max HP on all enemies. So basically, it's what, counter melee's card. So you see how much damage counter melee does at 1 HP. Imagine that, but an AoE skill and a go card. It's going to do unreal damage, probably wipe out a whole team. That's kind of the potential of the card here. But obviously, he does fully heal when he does die, so you can actually kill him. You can stun him, you can attack stable him. So there is some counterplay towards him. But if you don't, you know, if you leave him unchecked, really, and you try and kill him, and you get into 1 HP, then yeah, your team's probably dead here. But to help with the card a little bit, he does have a passive, which is deplete 50% of the current HP before using this skill. So you can use more than 1 skill here. So you can probably, you know, use 1 skill, maybe a silver card first, and then use a gold card, and you know, get your HP as low as possible before you use that big damage skill. And yeah, it's gonna do a lot. And yeah, I think it's going to do bits, but also as well, he does have the same ultimate, because, well, if you somehow do die before you get your ultimate off, you can use your ultimate to lower your HP again, and then use your other skill as well. It's going to be a lot of way to kind of do a lot of damage. So yeah, that is Itadori. Let me know what you lot think. Obviously, it was based on, you know, what happens during the first season, and yeah, I think I did pretty well here. I do like the whole gimmick of him transforming for 1 turn, and it works very well with what happened during the series, right? Because yeah, Sukuna transforming can't be a normal state thing. It's got to be a drawback, right? Because he's so powerful, and Itadori doesn't want him to stay alive for too long. So yeah, that is Itadori. Let's move on to Gojo now. Next, we do have Gojo, which is maybe my most broken character out of the lot, and you can kind of see that here. And when you understand what he does and how he'll work in the game, it's going to be very, very broken. So let's just dive into it. So you can see his cards here. Yes, Hollow Purple is an actual card, not an ultimate move, because there's no way they can implement Infinite Void without making an ultimate. And you'll get my gimmick, and you'll probably actually enjoy it, because I do think they actually could work very well in the game. So here's the stuff in screen now. So let's start with the passive here, and this is the most, I guess, controversial one, because everyone was saying he's got to evade. He's got to evade, you know, range attacks, he has to evade physical attacks, he's got to evade somehow, right? So I do think this is like the best outcome, because if he evaded all range attacks, then, you know, Ban will be useless against him. But if you evade 1 attack at the start every turn, then at least you can throw out an alpha card just to bait that out the evade, and then using a barn wipe and kill the whole team. So there is some counterplay, but at least you have to waste 1 skill to start every turn, right? Now, if you're using a glue eater, it's gonna be very hard to bait that, because you have to use like what, a golfer card, the golfer dissolve, because this is the only AoE skill. And then if you do that, then, well, you know, it's gonna be hard to kill him. But then you realize, well, what's it? He works on the Barn team, so imagine Barn, Gojo, and Arthur. it's gonna be so hard to get towards him because he's gonna evade every turn. And he's so broken, honestly, lads. This may be too much, but we have to do it really. So moving to Hollow Purple, he does inflict damage equal to 280% of attack onto enemies, prevents ultimate modification filling up for 2 turns. So yeah, if you don't know, if Barn can't fill up his ultimate move gauge, then yeah, he's not gonna buff up himself, so you can kill him very, very easy. And yeah, also it kind of just stop people from ult rushing. And kind of make him ult rush first, because obviously you can't. If you're gonna try and like dissolve him with like a goal for dissolve, you gotta use it twice in 1 turn, so it's gonna be quite hard. You're gonna rush ultimate very, very quick. But what makes this actual Hollow Purple so unique is the fact that at tier 1, as you can see on screen now, actually is onto 1 enemy. So I believe it's Mono who has it. I think it's one of the Monos that she prevents ultimate modification from filling up, but on the tier 1 it just does damage, so it's a little bit dead. So similar to like Amelia, where tier 1, he can do a single target ultimate move gauge prevention, but in tier 2 can actually get you know, the AoE one and stop the Bun if he's actually taunted for a return or something with Arthur. So yeah, that's a very, very good skill. And next skill is Red, which is a single target Suga technique. So we have Mikasa, which has AoE on a card, but it doesn't do that good. And I think that's because it's AoE and because Mikasa is kind of dead a little bit. So with a single target skill, it's going to work out very, very well. And it kind of works with the ultimate a little bit. But I think I added this skill mainly because, well, I don't want to have a super powerful skill turn 1. And, you know, when he does actually use ultimate, then this card gets broken. And let's just dive into the actual Infinite Void, which is kind of his whole kit based around this, right? So once again, with his passive and with his Hollow Purple, it's going to be very hard for him to, you know, dissolve you, but also very hard for him to rush ultimate. So he's able to get Infinite Void off. And when you realize how powerful this is, yeah, it's broken. So it seems it starts for 1 turn, which performs a preemptive strike before an ally is attacked, inflicting 1050 damage of attack onto 1 enemy, disabling all skills, increases attack rate stats by 35% for 2 turns, transform all cards into own. So let me break that down a bit. So essentially is what's it, a single target version of SDSGC's ultimate. So I just prefer to be single target. It's going to do a lot of damage if someone does attack. If you're doing a raid boss or like a PvE story mode quest, it's going to do a lot of damage. And also SSRs, typically you don't really see it. So getting him 6/6 is kind of useless apart from the CC. So to make a reason for people to summon to get him 6/6 is actually going to increase attack related stats. So similar to Eren, how you know, when Eren transforms, it's at 1/6 is 10%, but at 6/6 when he transforms it's 35%. So the exact same thing here. So not only is he gonna, you know, stall for a turn, he's gonna do a lot of damage, but then you realize, well, actually every card in your hand is going to transform to Gojo's, and also the next turn he's only going to get Gojo cards. So that Suga technique card's now looking a little bit deadly, and he's going to get free merges. He's going to get so many card merges where you're going to prevent ultimate gauge from filling up for so long they're probably never going to ult, and in the red it's going to do so much damage. But then you realize as well, when you ult and older cards transform, they're going to merge, right? You're going to get some merges. And if you use Infinite Void first and use 2 skills, you're going to get 2 extra you're going to get 2 orb gauge for using 2 skills. And you're going to get some merges, you're going to get cards combining, you're going to get cards coming in. You're probably going to get ultimate again next turn. So you're going to keep on Infinite Voiding them until they have nothing left. So this is, yeah, might be my most broken character here. And yeah, we had to do it right. And I just love the gimmick of like constantly keep on doing Infinite Void. And the secret technique is going to do a lot of damage as well. And yeah, basically the whole point here, if Infinite Void gets off, yeah, you're not playing the game, basically. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that concept of Gojo. Just, we had to make him broken a little bit, but, like, just not, you know, there's some counterplay. You can kill him before, well, it's going to be hard, but you can kill him before he gets off his Infinite Void. But, yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult afterwards to try and kill him. But I should say, it does say here, evade 1 attack, so you can freeze him. He's not going to evade the freeze. He's not going to evade debuffs. So if you want to, like, any card that actually doesn't do damage but just does a debuff, it's going to apply to him without actually him evading. So there are ways to do that. You can actually disable ultimates with characters that actually don't do damage. You can freeze, you can actually disable buff skills, you can disable attack skills, you can lower the attack and stuff like that. So yeah, that's some counterplay there. But yeah, let me know what you think of Gojo, boys. Okay, so Nobara is probably one of my favorites, and I really like, I love to use her in game. So we're going to start off with the actual hammer, because that's the one that doesn't really correlate towards the passive. But it is a single target skill, and as you can see, it does block all skill effects. So she is like the final color of the trio of blocking skills. So we have blue Chandler, we have green Valenti, now we have red Nobara, and typically they like to do that with collabs with like 11. They added the final Power Strike character, which is the blue one. So we have the full trio now with Nobara. And it is single target for a reason, and it's a hammer swing, right? So she does that against the little witch girl, and I did that because I assume one of her actual cosmetics for her weapons will be like the little toy. So it will be very good to see her engage like to swing a hammer and do like a little squeaky toy effect. It'll be kind of sick, so which is why I added a single target skill. But to go back to the passive, because this does apply towards her resonance skill, which is her, when she collects all like the equipment or like the starting off the user's actual like possession, she applies like she digs it into a actual straw door. So this is how it's going to work out, right? It's the whole gimmick here. So I think I did it pretty well. So at the beginning of an ally's turn, so like Kia or like or Gym Hopper, randomly apply Dole. So Dole is a new debuff skill, which is a great debuff, so there's no way to remove it. Onto an enemy, apply Dole every single time the hero inflicts damage and takes damage. So whenever Nobara takes damage, boom, applies the door effect. Whenever she does damage, boom, applies the door effect. So which is why she'd have a single target skill, because if it was AoE, it might be a little bit too OP. And then, yeah, once again, at the start of the turn, she's always going to apply at least one door effect, so you're always going to do a little bit of damage. And then this goes towards a resonance skill here. So inflict door damage. So once again, it's going to erupt the door damage, equal to 3% of attack onto all enemies. I say all enemies, but it could be single target if you literally only have the door effect onto one target, because it only affects the people with the door effect. Also, if there are 3 or more door effects onto one enemy when she does erupt it, I assume it'd be on a tier 2 skill, not a tier 1. It does stun the target. Maybe I could change it so where it stuns on a tier 2, but in a 2-turn stun on the tier 3. I don't know. I just thought of it now. But the door effect, what it does, it increases damage dealt by 50% per door effect on target. So 300% attack, like AoE, is a lot of damage. Granted, it could be single target. And then, yeah, with the door effects, it's going to be quite good. And, yeah, you can kind of see the gimmick here. The more damage you do towards you, the more you're going to apply into them. And essentially, if you think about it, if she survives long enough on, like, let's say, the barn team, and each of the 3 characters on the other team have like, let's say 10 of the door effect somehow, if you got that lucky, and you erupt it, boom, it's an instant KO. It's gonna do that much damage. It's gonna be very, very unreal, and I do like the whole gimmick here, so how it works out. But also the ultimate is inflict 7 damage onto all enemies this time, and it is AoE, so if you use this skill and you somehow survive it, then you're going to apply 3 door effects onto all the targets on the field, and then boom, you can erupt again to like finish off the targets. So yeah, this is a very technical character, really. You're applying the hammer to like stop people from doing stuff towards you and stop them from like just like doing all the buffs and debuffs, and then boom, when you have enough debuffs on the targets, you erupt it, boom, wipe out AoE. I think it works out very well towards the character. Would it work in game? Sure, it may do, and yeah, I do like this character. Probably my favorite one, to be fair. Okay, so next off the quad of the characters, the main character, we have Megumi Fugoroshi. I hope I say his name right. So this one is very straightforward, but a very good character. So you can see his skills on screen now, and we jump towards the actual skills. Very basic, but a very good character. At the start of the ally's turn, once again, kind of like Nanashi a bit here, increase the rank of the hero skills if there are 2 or less cards in hand. So very similar to Nanashi, but it only ranks up his cards, and his cards themselves aren't crazy DPS numbers because he kind of safe for his ultimate, but he's going to support the team very, very well. And to be fair, now that I think of it, it's probably going to help out Barn the most because he's going to do more damage. But his first skill is cancel buffs and stances on enemies, and the reason why the first, well, I guess a tier 1 of this skill doesn't, it just does damage. It doesn't actually remove buffs. Tier 3 removes stances, but tier 2 only removes buffs, which is why you want to have that actual passive to rank up the skill. So he's able to constantly keep on getting tier 2 cards of the remove AoE's buff effects, which when you realize with Barn, it's going to be very helpful towards Barn teams. Little with shield, any buff effect really is going to remove it. But we are moving towards a meta where, you know, we're going to get grade debuffs, so this guy might fall off quite a bit if he was to come to the game like this. But yeah, the next skill is a broken skill. So it's, yeah, inflict damage equal to 3% attack onto enemies, decrease crit resistance and crit defense by 30% for 2 turns. Yeah, this is an AoE skill of Elet's card. For some reason, Elet's actual crit resistance, crit defense lower is only for her. They've not done it ever again, and I decided to make it AoE this time. And you can crit Barn with this basically. If you apply this and use a skill, you actually might be able to crit Barn, because Barn is very hard to crit. So very good skill, and you got to remember once again, you are ranking up your skills each turn if you only have two or less skills. So you're going to get this card to a tier 3 very, very easy. And yeah, if you get that to a tier 3 and you use a bond card, to be fair, you're probably going to wipe out the whole team. With Sario, there's a lot, yeah, this card might be a little bit too broken, but which is his actual first skill isn't really too much damage. So I want to make an actual skill which is going to make the other team or people on his team do a lot of damage. But then you got to remember his actual ultimate is spike damage AoE, which is 2 times crit damage. And yeah, with the actual new effect, which is lower crit resistance and crit defense, it's going to do a lot of damage. And yeah, you're probably going to crit Barn, and you're going to do a lot of damage towards him as well. So yeah, definitely a very, very good character here. I guess I had to criticize myself a little bit here is the fact that he is a support character, so he's not actually you know, not a DPS, which I guess a lot of people would have thought he would have been, but I just kind of went down this road of, like, you know, upgrading cards and doing a lot of, like, debuffing here, so I kind of liked how I went here. Okay, so next we do have Kanto Nanami, which is, to be fair, this character really did right himself, and if he does come to the game and he doesn't have weak point, it's going to be very, very weird, because, yeah, they say, I'll get into it in a second, but here's his card, you can see it on the screen now. He does have a debuff, does have attack skill, and, I'm sure you can imagine what he does here. Let's go over his skills. So he's a red character, so he will work in the Barn team, at least the mono red team. And yeah, like I did say, he really did right himself here. Overtime, of course. During overtime, he gets a massive buff, so I thought how could they do that in game. After 3 turns, increase base stats by 50%, so like the one, since he is a red character, the one can bunk him very, very easy. So at least on turn 3, he's gonna be very, very tanky. So the one is gonna be very, very strong, I suppose. So it kind of evens out a little bit. But also, weak point now applies to all buffs. So any buff you have above the name, a grey debuff, a stance buff, any little buff you have above the name, weak point is going to apply. So you no longer have to do a debuff skill, which he does have to help him in the early rounds and also to help him out later on as well. But yeah, you can imagine weak points you can apply to everything. It's quite an actual good passive. And yeah, his actual first skill is weak point, like I get to say. That is all from me. If you actually watch the actual anime, you can see it literally says, I'll throw up a screenshot so you can see it. It literally says weak point. So there's literally no way if this character was to come to the game, he would not have weak point. Literally, his whole gimmick is to hit the critical point of the character's body, which is weak point. So yeah, it's he really wrote himself here. And then next skill is critical strike, which is kind of another gimmick here, which is inflict damage equal to 3% attack onto one enemy, decrease HP related stats by 30% for 2 turns. So once again, Barn is a character in the game which is quite prevalent. So decreasing his HP related stats is gonna make it so he does less damage, but also take more damage too. So Nanami's gonna be a very good counter towards him. And his ultimate is a ratio technique collapse. I should say the artwork for this one, I didn't do the best for this. I couldn't really draw it properly because I didn't know what to do. But his ultimate, what it does is inflict damage equal to 60% attack on some enemies and then attacks him for 2 turns. So if you actually watch it, he misses Mahito, but Mahito was stunned by it. Like, he was like, what the hell just happened? So I thought, okay, lads, if you use this skill, massive AoE damage, and then the too scared to even attack, so boom, they get attack disabled. They can still buff, debuff, all that stuff, but just another really good character. I guess you can stall for a bit and build some more cards. Once again, if you're using Gojo, build up his ultimate. It's they're gonna work together very, very well. But yeah, that is Nanami. I think in practice, once again, I don't really go over the character stats, but if this guy does have very, very good stats, then he's gonna be a very good character. If he doesn't, he's gonna be very squishy and he might die very, very quick. But yeah, that is Nanami's skill. So boys, that is it for the actual characters. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think of the characters, the card arts, what would you use on differently, because I know when I first announced I was doing this, I said, oh lads, if you have any ideas what you want me to do send me a DM and I'll try and like add it in. And yeah, a lot of people kind of thought the same thing for Gojo. Okay, but that's not it. We still have to actually go through the story mode, and this story mode will take place during the actual beef between I think it's what, year 1 and year 2, the Goodwill even arc, the one where they're in they're in the forest fighting each other, where it's like class A versus class B a little bit. And yeah, this happens here. They get transported to the Britannia, and they're in the forest, and then the Sins gotta fight through the forest and fight year 2, the operas, which is you can see here, for example, you verse Momo, which is the witch girl, and you run into Mai. I think is it Mai? Is it Maki? I think it's Mai. Then you run into Todo, you run into all the other members of the other classes, the Woods guy as well. And the Sin's got to fight through them all, try and understand what's going on here, who are these characters, why they're here. And then they come to the conclusion, oh wait, we got transport here. Then the big boys show up, Mahito and also Hanami. So this is where you unlock the final boss, which is final boss Hanami, and you first him really, or she, whatever the gender is. And yeah, you can see it does have 2 phases. Here is actually its card art. I did design it this time because I wanted a little bit more detail, and I can't go into too much detail, but you can see on screen now. Basically the whole boss has a lot of life steal. You've got the little flower effect where he's gonna, you know, life steal a lot of damage, do a lot of damage too. He got a little drain effect on the floor where he's going to drain your HP. His whole gimmick here, or its whole gimmick, is to drain HP and life steal as well. So it's going to be a good fight really. And then the second skill, or the third one, is after like 2 turns during the second phase, he will apply, I keep saying he, it will apply a little drain effect again, where you can only use like attack skills, because if you remember during the fight, it locks into your cursed energy, and the more skills you use, the more damage you're gonna do, so that you like do damage to yourself. So that's kind of the whole point of the, I guess, the final boss. So yeah, let me know what you think. I do like the cards here. I actually had a lot of fun making it. And then the ultimate is like an AoE wipe really. And yeah, that is Hanami. Not gonna go into too much detail because the big one next is Mahito. So at one point, you're going to get locked into his his actual domain expansion, and you're locked in. And big shout out once again to my friend Oreo, who did design and put his blood, sweat, and tears into actual animation here. Unreal stuff, lads. I mean, can you imagine? We actually have animation of like an actual boss fight. Like, I know none of you were expecting this, so unreal. So you can see his cards here. He's got like his draw effect, which he uses one of his skills. He has his little AoE swipe, and then he also has his he carries some little cursed objects around, where they're like humans. So he throws one in the air, he comes out, does a smash down, and does mad AoE damage. Not really too much to say about this boss fight, apart from the fact that I can only show you what it would like, because this is like the best thing we've done ever on this channel, really. But yeah, it's just to kind of go through it again and again. It's so sick, man. It's like, this is the closest we have to Jujutsu Kaisen in Grand Cross, like an actual boss fight. Plus the arena itself, the arena is so beautiful, like it's so sick as well. So yeah, that is the 2 boss fights, and that kind of includes the story mode. They get defeated, you know, the actual Jujutsu High members or characters do go back to the normal universe, and then boom, the season continues and you go on. Okay, so moving on again, we do have some stamps this time, and they all animated as well, so you know, you can imagine how they look in game. And they were once again made by Oreo, who made the actual other Mahito boss fight. Really carrying the video here, boys. But the first one, my favorite, is Todo. Is his crying. Like, as soon as I said to him, bro, we gotta do this. Like, this is my favorite one. Classic. It would be such a good emote in game if like you get beaten, you give him the cry emote. It's or even like, you know, if you see a certain character, if I see Deldry, I'll give him the crying emoji to show I appreciate it. But yeah, this is a perfect emote. The next one is Sukuna and Itadori, that little laughing face. A little bit toxic. You gotta have the toxic one every now and again, just laughing every time they do something stupid in game. The next one is obviously Gojo, and this is actually from the actual one of the scenes. He goes like a little cartoon mode, and it's literally straight from that. And yeah, he just waves, you know, give a like the actual Colossal Titan little wave, you know, the little greeting. Not a bad emote. And then lastly, for defeating the boss fight for Mahito, you do get a little stamp with him. And yeah, just him evil grinning, laughing a little bit, doing some, you know, typical Mahito stuff. And yeah, that is it for the stamps. Really killed it. Also, I should say, if you are a member on the channel, you are going to be able to use these stamps in the comments below. So I'm going to have a lot of fun. If someone comments, I'm just going to, like, you know, like a funny comment, I'm going to send off like the total crying. So I'm very excited to use that emote. But yeah, just got to point out there if you are a member. Okay, and boys, can you believe we're almost done? Crazy, I know, right? But this is the last bit, which is the outfits and, well, I guess the cosmetics. And I did it a little bit better this time. Last time I just kind of showed you some pictures, so I actually put them in the portrait. They don't look the greatest because, well, I didn't redraw them, so let's take it straight from the anime. But yeah, these are stuff taken straight out of the series, so once again, they could always just make an actual completely new outfit like it done with like the String Things and other collabs in the past. But let's just go with the assumption we're only going to get actual outfits from the actual series itself. So here you go. You can see the first one, Itadori. So the first one with the SSR one, which will be the free one. Bear in mind, the URs are normally paid for. So you are going to get Sukuna's outfit. So you actually can play Sukuna as Itadori. So when he does transform, it will make a little bit more sense. Or I guess when he transforms, he takes his outfit, he takes his clothes off a little bit. So yeah, not sure how that's going to work. But the 2 UR ones you have to pay for this. You do have the first one, which is actual normal casual outfit, like his little purple, or was it no, yellow jumper, and then you're gonna see a trend here, boys. Their paid outfit, there's no way they're gonna give this for free. If it was, hopefully if they actually do come to the game, hopefully do give these outfits. The actual outfits based on the outro, Lost in Paradise. So you can see here, obviously it's not gonna look like that. It's going to be just a yellow shirt, but I would like to think if you use this outfit, you're going to get that special portrait of like the look of it. So yeah, that's something I want to do. So next is Gojo. Once again, kind of same thing here. The drip out stuff, you're going to have his casual clothes for the SSR one. And then UR is going to be the one where when he's using golf. The hair's kind of the same, so I'm sure they do something different, but that's more of a suit and tie one, simple stuff really. And then yeah, the next UR outfit, the paid one, is gonna be the dripped out Gojo during the actual outro. Next we do have Nobara, so a little bit different here. We have I believe it's when they encounter Mai and Todo for the first time. She's wearing like a little sport outfit a little bit. She got this little jumper on, does look kind of nice. The next outfit will be obviously the ending one, so it's to be fair, this outfit will bang on her if they actually gave this for her, and the hairstyle will look pretty sick. And then the next one is couldn't find too many outfits of her. She actually didn't wear too many different stuff, but during the outro, which is why it looks so different, there was like a very high filter on it, but you can see she's wearing like a nice little snow hoodie. That could be an outfit she could wear during. Okay, so next is Megumi, and you're going to be confused by this because I know I was too when I first saw it, but let me explain. So the first outfit is the SR one, the free one, is the sport day one. He's wearing like a Nobara, which is wearing that outfit. The next one is going to be the outro one, of course. I like this one because he would have, the earphones, so look pretty sick. You're probably wondering what the hell is that last picture. It's him in the maid outfit. Now, when I searched up Megumi outfits on Google, for some reason, there's even toys of it as well. Him in the maid outfit. Now, I don't know, sorry if it is, but I don't know if it actually is a spoiler from the actual manga, if he somehow does dress up as a maid later on in some situation. But yeah, this is, I didn't see no manga panel, so I don't think it is. But for some reason, there's a weird obsession with Megumi in a maid outfit. So I was like, screw it, why not, right? We got Go for the maid outfit, so why can't we have Megumi, right? But boys, that is it. That is everything I need to show you, lol. I do believe that's everything. Okay, so next is Nanami, and to be fair, I don't believe he literally only wears 2 outfits in the whole series. It's one which is the normal outfit, 2 which is the one you see here, which is the one where he does a little flashback when he's in the domain expansion by Mahito, and then last is the actual ending one, but he never not wears a suit. So the first 2 ones I guess would say will be these 2, and then you have to somehow make one up, maybe like a casual one. He does wear his normal outfit but without a shirt, but I assume that will be his actual SSR one, the one you get before you evolve into a UR. But yeah, that is Nanami. Not too much stuff about him. So yeah, that is everything. A little bit surreal, like I did say at the start of the video. The fact I'm sat here about to finish the video, it's a little bit sick, man. But yeah, I'm gonna upload this video, probably go to sleep straight away, because a little bit stressful because I spent so much time and work on this video that if it does flop, which I'm sure it won't, but say if it does, then I want to go to sleep to it and like wake up to, you know, the whatever happens. But boys, hope you enjoyed this video, hope you appreciate the effort, and as well I will do a little credit section at the end in a second. Yeah, but really appreciate it. So yeah, this has been what a Jujutsu Kaisen collab with like in Grand Cross, and yeah, thank you for watching, boys. Peace. Alright, okay, so this is the end part. I'm going to give some credits towards the people that I did use the work from to throw at the end. So the first one is Darrow. So Darrow did hook it up with this actual super sick Oz and Hawk render, which works so well towards the actual image where I placed it. And then Oreo gonna have a massive catalog here, so all 5 stamps or 4 stamps he made, which you can see, and fully animated too. He also made all of the actual artwork in game, which you can see with Mahito where he's actually moving, so he made all 3 of those. He also made the little, it's very quick so you may have missed it, but he made the actual Hawk black and white animation, so we had to replace it because it actually was a wolf, so we replaced the Hawk to kind of tease a little bit. I'm sure you would have seen it if you paid attention, but yeah, he did make that. Also, shout out to Wilkesera, who actually made this really cool render on, I think it's on ArtStation. So obviously, I didn't make it myself. I just took it from him. So he did make that Gojo model pretty sick. The next model we did use, I used Ryan Michelle's actual MoMA model, which is you can buy actually on a shop, and yeah, this one is pretty sick as well. I used it for a quick brief second, just trying to get the right angle to trying to showcase it in game, and yeah, the model itself is super sick. Very happy I found this one. Okay, so lastly is Caroline Amaret. He did make the actual Itadori model, which you would have seen for a brief second as well, and yeah, very sick. So yeah, boys, that is it for the credits, and once again, big shout out to Dara and obviously mainly Oreo for like hooking up super hard with this collab and bringing it to life a little bit with the effects. Is I know one, I couldn't do as good as what they do, and it would take way too long if I was doing it by myself. But boys, it's been a pleasure. Hopefully you did enjoy the video, and stay tuned for more content, man. We're still coming back. I actually have planned a very, very funny video and special video coming probably within the next week or two, so stay tuned for that one. And yeah, boys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for watching.